The American eagle has been the recognized national emblem of the United States since 1782. We see them on coins, on the Great Seal of the United States, and many places representing freedom. After the signing of the Declaration of Independence in 1776, a committee was formed consisting of Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and John Adams, and assigned the task of creating an official seal of the United States. They selected the bald eagle to be on the seal, and 6 years later, in 1782, the seal was approved by the Continental Congress as the official seal, and 238 years later still remains the national emblem. When Jean and I returned to Belmont, North Carolina from our trip to Florida in March, friends mentioned a family of bald eagles were nesting in an area about 2 miles from Jean's house. I think that whenever the words bald eagle are mentioned, everyone's interest is high to go seek them out and take a look. In our case, it became the essential part of our bicycle ride every 2 to 3 days, and we did locate the nest near the top of a very tall pine at the end of the driveway of a private residence, probably not more than 60 feet from the rear corner of their house. We tried not to invade the privacy of the residence by observing the eagles from the street. Over the course of a couple of weeks, we did have a number of interesting conversations with the residents, learning what it's like to have eagles on their property, and thank them for sharing the experience and also allowing our presence to observe and take some pictures. The eagle pair has returned 8 years to raise families at this location. With Lake Wylie close by, good fishing is abundant for the birds. In the fall, close to migration season, the adults disassemble most of the nest to encourage the eaglets to leave and go out on their own. A few other comments of interest were that you often have to clean up dead fish, turtles, and small game parts from the yard, and you don't want to park your car near the tree or it will get whitewashed. Some other things of interest were found online, including eagles can live for 30 to 35 years, mate for life at around 4 to 5 years old, but will seek another mate if one dies or disappears. Eagles have a wingspan of 7 feet, weigh 7 to 15 pounds, and overall size of 28 to 38 inches, making it one of the largest raptors in the world. They fly to altitudes of 10,000 feet, soaring on thermals and cruising at speeds of 40 miles per hour. Diving at prey, they can reach speeds of 100 miles an hour. They have great eyesight with ability to see prey a mile away and have unique lenses to see forward and sideways at the same time. They build enormous nests out of sticks at least 2 feet deep and 5 feet across. The nests have been known to weigh up to a ton. A mating pair produces up to 3 eggs a year. Both parents take turns incubating the eggs and hunting for food and nesting materials. When eaglets are hatched, their bodies are covered with light gray feathers. Around 3 weeks, their plumage takes on a brown color, and after 3 to 5 years, they take on the adult brown and white pattern. In the nest here, we see the two eaglets, and they're moving around, uh, shaking their wings, preening feathers, getting ready for that kip. Here, the lower eaglet has picked up a dead fish out of the nest and is shaking it around. It was trying to, I believe, strip the flesh off the fish in the nest, and is still working at it there. Yeah, they're just kind of exercising. This was when they were getting close, I believe, to fledging time and possibly leaving the nest. as they had become quite active in the nest and they had grown fairly large. You know, the eaglet is still working at that fish, pulling and tugging at it. They have very sharp beaks. Here is one of the parents sitting on a branch, and you can see its white tail and white head in the picture. Didn't get to see many of the parents of the eaglets. I believe they were probably out fishing most of the day. Here's one of the adult eaglets on the left there, sitting on the limb. You can see its white tail and white head occasionally. We had to just take our chances when we rode our bikes over and set up the camera and we're looking around. You know, you never know what they're going to be doing next, and unfortunately, the window of being able to see the birds between the leaves of other trees between the street and the nest, it was kind of hard to set up and get pictures, but nevertheless, we were pretty happy just to watch the birds exercise. Wish we could have seen more of the adults. That would have been interesting. And if we could have known exactly kind of where their fishing area was around Lake Wiley, it could have probably may have been able to catch them in flight and hunting. Here at this point, the one eaglet is kind of getting ready to express its opinion, I guess, of us standing there and watching them all the time. About right here, yeah. Well, anyway, that's his opinion, but we were glad to see him. Hope to see him next year.